Hi there, welcome to class. My name is Michelle. Today we'll do a quick 20-minute flow or so. We'll do it nice and strong, but we'll keep flowing throughout the class. I don't think you need anything, just the mat should be enough. But let's find a comfortable seat to begin with. It's always good to start the class with a moment of mindfulness, a moment of stillness. So once you're seated comfortably, whatever that means to you, whatever feels most authentic, go ahead and close the eyes. Ideally, we're sitting nice and tall with the spine. The rest of our body can be soft and relaxed. And take a moment to touch base with yourself. Take a moment to notice how you're feeling. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And as you do so, see if you can soften into it. Can you surrender to whatever is going on inside your mind, inside your body? I don't know if you can hear it, but for me there's a little dog barking in the background. A lot of times these noises or sounds can be distractions when we are working towards finding silence in our mind, but it's not about finding absolute stillness without any sounds. It's more about finding the stillness in the mind, finding the ability to accept whatever is going on. Being a tree in the storm, swaying with the wind, but firmly rooted in the here and now. Let's open the practice with the mantra Om. If you want to join me, bring the hands together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra, the prayer position. Let's exhale all the air out. We inhale for our Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Gharavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Keep the body soft for another moment. Sahana Vavatu prayer is an invitation for calmness, for energy, for vigor in the practice, for concentration. I'd ask that there may be no hate among us, between us and others, but between us and ourselves. So throughout the practice, if something doesn't go quite the way you like it to, if something used to be better, see if you can find no hate within yourself and accept that today is a different day and yesterday is in the past. With all that said, let's roll over into hands and knees, blink open the eyes. We'll start with a very brief wrist warm-up. So I'd like to keep the toes tucked for this particular one. Arms nice and long with the wrists underneath the shoulders. And start to shift forwards and backwards. Try to keep the palms and the fingers nice and flat as you keep moving forwards and backwards. If you want to, you can add a little bit of spinal movement here, but the attention is on the wrists. And if you have the toes tucked, you can add a little bit of stretching, if you will, in the heels and the soles of the feet. Soles of the feet is quite often overlooked in the practice, but stretching out the soles of the feet can be very beneficial for the forward folding aspect, as it is part of the backline of the body. If you want to, lift yourself up, interlace the hands, stretch it out a little bit through the wrists, and then find your way to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes and send the hips up towards the sky. Keep the knees bent if this is your first down dog of today. and lengthen through the arms. General rule of thumb is when there is weight in the arms, when there's weight in the shoulders, we can shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. We want to find muscle activation, fire them up for our support. See, with every time you inhale, you can lengthen the hips upwards a little bit more. And every time you exhale, find the crown of the head reaching for the mat. Then from here, gently tiptoe the feet all the way towards the top. Find Uttanasana, our first forward fold here. Take a moment. If it's the end of your day, it might be nice to grab hold of the elbows and let the shoulders and the arms hang. Gently decompressing the spine, gently finding a little bit more space between the vertebrae. If it's the first one of today, maybe grab hold of the big toes and pull yourself down just a little bit. Slowly stretching out through the hamstrings. Wherever you are, release the hands, find the halfway lift, inhale. Reach forwards with the crown of the head and then fold back down once again. This time sit the hips nice and low. We'll find Utkatasana, chair pose. Arms alongside the ears. Neutral spine here, so try not to stick the bum out or round it too much. Sit a little bit lower, feel the legs warm up. Lean a little bit more in towards the toes. Keep reaching the arms away. For another 3, another 2, another 1. Find forward fold once again, straighten the legs, fingertips reach for the mat, plant the hands, and step both feet back. Drop the knees, chest and chin down, and flow forwards into Cobra pose. Suck the belly and pull the heart forwards, and then roll backwards into downward facing dog. Like I said, we'll be flowing through a little bit of a stronger practice here. So when you're ready, right leg goes all the way up towards the sky, find length, reach it away, and then step it forwards to the outside of the right hand. Find a wide lunge here, so stay nice and low. Try to keep the hips even with the front knee as you reach the arms up. Long and strong through the back leg, but bring the left hip forwards a little bit. Feel the body work here, press into the toes. Pull the front heel towards the back foot. Feel the hamstring work there. And then gently plant the hands back to 3-legged dog with the right foot up towards the sky. Then place the foot behind the left wrist. Big step forwards. We'll find a bit of a weird lunge here. Feel the balance, feel the aspect of imbalance. Reach the arms up once again and stay nice and low. One more breath here. And the left hand down towards the floor. Float the back foot up. Find a twisted half moon straight away, nice and early in the class. Hold there for another 5, 4. Lift the back leg up a little bit more. For 2 and 1. Drop the back foot. Drop the heel as well. We'll find Skandasana. So glide the hips all the way towards the back foot as you straighten through the right leg. Turn the toes up if that feels good to you. And maybe walk the hands towards the inside of the right foot. Stretch a little bit through the hamstring. And very gently shift your weight forwards. Plant the hands. 3-legged dog. Right leg goes all the way up and back again. Then pull yourself forwards. Maybe brush the floor with the nose as you pull into upward facing dog. Then roll back into downward facing dog. Let's go on to the other side straight away. Left leg up towards the sky. Big step forwards to the outside of the hand. Lift the body up. Reach the arms up. Again, sit nice and low. Try to straighten through the back leg. Feel a stretch into the front of the right hip there. For 3, for 2, and 1. Plant the hands, 3-legged dog. Left leg all the way up and back, and then step it behind the right wrist. Make sure that the stride is nice and long so we can stay low. So you reach the arms upwards, look upwards as well. So you can keep the ribs in. My ribs have a tendency to sort of flare out. We're going to keep them in. Then right hand down towards the floor. Float the back foot up. Twisted half moon. Look sideways, maybe look up. If that feels comfortable for you. Try to straighten a little bit more through the standing leg for 3, for 2, for 1. Back foot lands, heel lands as well. Skandasana. Adjust the feet if you need to. Find a little stretch in the left leg by walking the hands towards the top of the mat. Notice the breath. If you can slow it down. And then shift forwards. Hands on either side of that foot. Three-legged dog. And like you're skimming a rock across the lake, pull yourself forwards into upward facing dog. Point the toes, lift the kneecaps, and then roll back into downward facing dog. Right leg up to the sky once again. Step it forwards outside of the right hand. Find that wide lunge again, but keep the hips nice and low. Reach up, maybe go into a little bit of a crescent. And then plant the hands. Three-legged dog. Lift up and back, and then step the foot behind the left wrist. Lift the body up again, nice and low, with everything that you can. Plant the hands. Shift forwards. Half a moon, but the twisted one. So the right one goes up, left fingertips stay nice and low. 3, 2, and 1. Back foot lands, Skandasana. Sit nice and deep, maybe without the hands. Hold there for a moment. And when you're ready, shift forward, plant the hands, three-legged dog this time. Into a wild thing. Open up through the wrists, through the hips, and lift them up. Hold steady for a moment. And then plant the hands, three-legged dog. And we'll shift forwards into up dog and roll back into downward. Lift the left leg up. Step it to the outside of the left hand. Wide lunge, stay nice and low. Reach the arms up, maybe into a little back bend. And plant the hands. Lift the leg all the way up and back. And step it behind the right wrist. Lift the torso up, feel a little bit of a stretch there. And then shift forwards. Right hand down, left arm up towards the sky. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. For 3, for 2, for 1. Back foot lands. Skandasana. Shift towards the back of the mat. Turn the left toes up. And we'll shift forwards. Plant the hands. Three-legged dog into wild thing. Open the hips. Land the toes. Maybe look up overhead, upside down. And then plant the hands. Three-legged dog. Pull yourself forwards into up dog. Stay nice and low with the hips. And roll up and back. One more time here. Right leg up. We'll go nice and fast. Outside of the hand. Lift the arms up and plant them once again. Three-legged dog. Right foot behind left wrist. Lift the body up. Twisted half moon. Left hand down. Right arm up. 3, 2, 1. Land the feet. Shift back. Skandasana. This time, we find the knife edge on both feet as we shift forwards. Left hand stays down. Right arm lifts up. For 3, for 2, for 1. Plant the hands. Three-legged dog. Pull yourself forwards into upward facing dog. And roll backwards. Downward facing. Left leg up towards the sky. To the outside of the hand. Stay nice and low. Reach the arms up nice and high away from the wrists. Or away from the hips, sorry. Plant them again. Lift it all the way up and back. Step it to the back of the right wrist. Lift the arms up. And then find your twisted half moon. Right hand down, left arm lifts up. Drop the back foot. Skandasana towards the back of the mat. And then walk the hands towards the front. Turn all the toes towards the left. Come into the knife edge of the feet. Lift the left arm up. Take a breath. And then plant the hands. Three-legged dog. Pull forwards into upward facing. And roll back into downward facing dog. Reconnect with the breath here. Long through the arms. Broaden a little bit through the upper back. Keep pressing the fingertips down. And once again, every time you inhale, lift the hips a little higher. Every time you exhale, crown of the head reaches in between the hands. A few more breaths here. Let's bend the knee. Look forwards. Step or jump the feet to the outside of the hands, both at the same time. Active squat. Exhale, plant the hands in front of the heart. Inhale, reach them up. And exhale, sit back down. Active squat. Hands to the floor. Step or jump back into chaturanga. And then knees and elbows down. Once again, forwards into upward facing. Or roll back into downward facing. Bend the knees, look long. Same thing. Feet to the outside of the hands. Active squat. Stand up, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sit back down. Plant the hands. Step or jump back. Knees, elbows down. Pull forwards. Upward facing. And roll back. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look long. Step or jump. Feet to the outside. And then take a moment here. Malasana, sit nice and low. Wriggle the hips side to side. And then very gently find your way up to a standing position. And step one foot back, whichever side works for you, so you can keep facing the screen. Or find a wide fold here. Try to have the heels a little bit wider than the toes. Straighten through the legs. Take the hands onto the hips. Let the belly button come forwards first. Try to keep the spine neutral so it doesn't move. All the movement comes from the hips. And we'll pause halfway. If you want to, let the fingertips gently land onto the floor. Just enough so you can comfortably reach forwards. The less weight we have in the hands here, the more effectively we can stretch. If you prefer, bring them to heart center. If you want to intensify, reach the arms forward, but keep the legs engaged, keep them strong. As you let the belly come first, let the chest come down. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Round down. Take your version of a wide fold. Maybe place the hands down. Let the crown of the head reach for the floor. If it's in your practice, feel free to go into a headstand for a moment. And grab hold of the big toes or maybe the ankles to pull yourself a little bit further down. Once again, feel the breath. Slow it down. Last breath here. And bring the hands underneath the shoulders again. Wriggle the feet and we'll come back to our Malasana. Sit the hips down low. Try to have the spine neutral once again, so avoid rounding too much. Sit nice and tall. Really press the outside edges of the feet down. You can help by pressing the palms together with the elbows and the inside of the knees. Soft wriggle side to side. Very softly land the bum on the floor. Let both knees fall over towards the left. We'll set up for 90-90. 90-90, we'll try to make a 90-degree angle in as many parts of the body as possible. This time mostly the legs and the feet. So 90 degrees, the ankle, at the knee, maybe even at the hip. And again, knee and ankle. And then from there, we can turn towards the left shin. Try to really drive the knee down at the same time. Press the foot down as you softly reach the chest forwards. Notice that the further and further you reach, the more pressure you need to push. It's a really good way to strengthen the outside of the thighs, the outside of the bum. Exactly the part that we stretch in pigeon pose. So lean forwards for a little bit more if you want to. Reach the arms out, otherwise just keep them at heart center, but try not to lean on them. For 3, for 2, for 1. And softly lift yourself up. Keep the feet where they are, but lift the knees and let them fall over to the other side. You should be roughly set up for 90-90 on the other side. If not, readjust. Move some stuff off the mat, some dirt or whatever it is. Again, try to sit up tall. Don't worry about whether or not the sit bones are ground. It's really hard. Probably good if you force them down. Let's see if you can lean forwards. Focus on pressing the outside of the knee down to keep you lifted and upright off the floor. So lean out. Feel the pressure. Really press the shin down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift yourself up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Set yourself up for a butterfly pose. Just briefly. You can bring the feet in. Or a nice trick to use to keep the hips soft is to take the hands behind you, lift the hips up, then scoot forwards. From there, you can open the feet up. Or you can pull yourself forward if you want. You can even press the elbows into the calves or into the thighs to open it up. Find your variation here. Find a little bit of comfort. We've worked the body quite a bit in a short amount of time. We also need to give it some time to slow down. We need to give it time to relax. Softly release, lift yourself back up. Let's roll onto our backs. Keep the knees bent. Keep the feet planted. As you come to your back, place the right ankle on top of the left knee, setting up for a figure 4 stretch. If you want to, you can grab hold around the knee or maybe behind the thigh for a reclined pigeon. It's a really nice one to sort of adjust the stretch in the hip. You have a lot more control over it. And take a moment here. Feel the earth underneath. Maybe if you're doing this outside, you can feel the breeze on your skin or the sun on your face. And softly let the hands go. And keep the right foot where it is. And gently let the hips fall over towards the right side. Arms can in a cactus if you have a little bit less space. And enjoy a very gentle stretch in the lower back. Let the head fall over towards the left side as well, completing the twist. Think about breathing into the left side of the ribs, stretching with every inhalation. And then softly through center. Let's change side, plant the right foot and bring the left foot on top of the right knee. Reach the hands forwards and find your figure 4 or your reclined pigeon here. As you do so, allow yourself to surrender. Allow yourself to open up here. Try to soften as much as you can. Perhaps you already have the eyes closed. And gently release with the hands. Keep the foot on the knee, but gently let everything fall over towards the left side. Bring the arms back out into a T. And gently let the head fall over towards the right. Notice how you can breathe a little bit easier into the right side of the rib cage. If they're not already, maybe it's time to close the eyes. Maybe it's time to soften through the face. Then gently come back through center, release the feet. And find your way to Shavasana. A few moments here. If you want to bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out for a reclined butterfly. Maybe it's nice to just extend the feet. Let them fall wherever is most comfortable for you. Arms beside the body, maybe a little bit wider than normal. The palms turned upwards. I want to reduce the sensations. So having the fingertips in the air does that for us. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And then slowly exhale all the air out. Pretend that you're a little bowl of vanilla ice cream, vegan if you must, in the hot sun here in Mexico. And if this ice cream is in the hot sun, it slowly starts to melt. So feel the muscles melt away from the bones. Just pretend that you're becoming a soft, surrendering puddle of goodness, of softness. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Take your time. If it's time to move on, if it's time to continue with your day, then find your way upright. Take another moment to recognize where you are. Then thank yourself for taking the time out of your day, for taking the time for yourself. A moment of mindfulness, a moment of working on yourself. Or maybe it's just a moment of exercise, who knows? I'd love to see you again in the future. Thank you so much for coming. Namaste.